Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen. It's like we haven't seen each other in forever, but that's not true. I saw you yesterday. Today I have a game for you between Select, the blue this isn't Protoss. Off to a great start once again. This is Select, the blue Terran, spawning in the bottom right, and the red Zerg player in the bottom left, ReasoN. Now, ReasoN's been around for quite a while, early 2010, maybe even a little bit earlier, but he used to play Protoss. He's from Brazil, if this is the same ReasoN that I am familiar with, but it could be a different guy, who knows, that always happens. But Select, if you do not know, is from the North American server. He is Korean, but he's not born in... I don't know. I've seen tons of interviews with him, and he's definitely Korean. But he's a cool dude. I like him. He's so polite, so nice, and I'm super excited to watch him play. He is a Grandmaster player and had the most ridiculous record for the longest time. I'm not sure where it stands now, but the guy is freaking unbelievable. So I do not want to run into him on the ladder, unless it is to laugh at myself while dying. But yeah, no, we'll see how this goes. I've never seen, I only did some research on ReasoN to see who he was before I cast the game, so I've never really watched him play. So this is exciting for me. And as I cast more games, both me and you guys will get more familiar with some of the more abstract players. I mean, not everyone's as famous as TLO or Idra or Whiterah or all those guys. I mean, there's a legend for each race, right? But yeah, no, for sure. Hopefully ReasoN puts on a show. Select as well. I hate to see good players that I talk up, totally flop a game. That's always disappointing. And we are seeing a very early expansion for ReasoN. This was a 14 or 15 hatch. I'm not sure which. And that's ballsy. If the Terran player decides to send out some Hellions or quickly get air, it can be a pain to try to defend that early expansion. Basically, it's just up to the Zerg to know when to pay for drones and when to pay for a little bit of defense. Lots of Queen's work, and Spinishua shows that very well. By the way, guys, if you don't watch Husky StarCraft, you should take a look at his channel. That's Husky StarCraft. He just cast a game between, it was a 2v2, and the little one, TLO, and Spinishua were on the same team as each other. It was pretty freaking awesome, and they faced off against two other pro level players. I don't know who they are, but I watched the game just now, and it was pretty fun, pretty exciting. So we are seeing dSeleCT take his natural, and we do have a tech lab here getting stim. So that's pretty early stim for the modern way to play Terran. It's interesting that he's doing that, but he's probably going to need it to defend his naturals. So we'll see how that goes down. We already have Lings out on the field, and they're not too early, and they don't have speed yet, so speed is on its way, though, for sure. And yeah, both players going into macro mode, so it looks like we're up for a long game here. If you don't enjoy long games, give it a chance. Sometimes some pretty awesome things come out of them. One thing I have to say, guys, I myself, I'm all for the dirty play. Sometimes I like the cannon rushing and Ling rushing. Some of that stuff's really interesting and fun to watch if they're executed properly. Like I used to cast games from what was he called, Venom, and he did some really interesting early rush stuff, really cheesy play, and it worked for him. But the truth is, the true spirit of StarCraft 2 is in the long macro game, and if you can't play a macro game, there's a lot of skills that you will lack that you really need to win in the high levels. So there's a lot you can learn from a good long macro game, for sure. Big armies are really tough to micro, and there's a lot of cool techniques you can learn from watching the pros. And neither of these players are really putting on any pressure whatsoever. Both of them in quite the standoff. Select not really working too hard to saturate this, and he's not even producing SCVs out of this command center, and he didn't transfer very many from his main either. This Overlord is going to be sitting here spotting for any kind of medevac drops or Vikings or Banshees that fly across that gap. But yeah, no, just one SCV at a time. Out of that, using his mules to compensate for the lack of SCVs he was producing. Mules do count as 6 harvesters, so they more than compensate. Nice little wall here. I'm not sure if he should have used supply depots, but what do you do? You know, I always question the supply depot wall, but I've come to realize that I think the purpose might be to hide tech. I mean, because if you wall with your production facilities, which is what I always condone, because they are more resilient to they are more resilient to baneling busts and stuff. I just got a little invitation to a party and I was distracted for a moment. But yes, no, they are more resilient to baneling busts. Production facilities are, but if you put them in your wall, instantly your opponent's scouting what buildings you have. For example, if you use a factory, they see a factory. Also, if they're barracks, they're seeing your add-ons, and so that can be bad. So here we're going to see that baneling bust that I always talk about, and whether this is going to be effective or not, we'll see. See how Select deals with this. The Marines are going to have to micro-populate. Baneling's coming in here and taking out a... Ooh, not worth it, really. The Marines micro back properly. He does lose all his Marines, but there are enough here to clean up the remaining, and a good, like, there's bleh, no words, they just bleh. No, so the first bunker goes down, but he did have this reverse position bunker wedged in between his command center and his Vespine geyser, so there's no surface area for Lings to get a surround on that. And that's beautiful positioning by Select, microing his Marines back in behind the mineral line so they could not be attacked by the Lings and the Banelings at the same time. Brilliant micro. I really appreciated that play. So now that his opponents see that he is heavy bio, he can drop that barracks in the wall. He also knows he's going to need it to... Look at this, more Banelings coming. And he just picked up a bunch of Marines into a medevac and flying away. The Banelings are going to get in! And now they're in the line. They take out the bunker. The Marines coming in the medevac again to try and help reinforce this base. Still Banelings in the mix. He can't drop those medevacs because of the Banelings that are in in this mix for the Zerg. Oh, I'm tripping on words. There's just so much to talk about. This is exciting for me. Now the Marines are behind this second line. Look at this buffer. It was so brilliant of him to wall off twice. And it really helped him survive this. He'd be dead if he did not do that. So great preemptive thinking by Select, and once again, forgive me for the stumbling of words. I was tripping over my own tongue, but we're good now. We're good. So more Banelings coming out for ReasoN, and lots of Lings still here. It is a force that Select really has nothing to deal with right now. He's going to commit to a drop. I don't want to look away from this because there's so much going on here, but there is this drop coming over. He's trying to decide whether he should come back to his base or not. And Lings are running rampant. The SCVs are going to try to filter through the buildings. And where are they going? I have no idea where he's planning on bringing those. The Lings are going to chase them. The Marines are now down in the Zerg base, and this is turning into a base race. He's got to snipe this Baneling nest, and this is great play, great thinking. The Zerg hasn't even bothered to saturate that hatchery. Oh, maybe he did. He just ran the drones. So all the harvesters are over here, and these Marines are doing way more damage than I ever would have thought they would. But all the army is over here ripping apart Select's base. All his production is here, and everything that comes out of these barracks is going to deal with the Lings while they're split up quite effectively. So he might be able to whittle down the army that's there. These medevacs are going to make his Marines very maneuverable. Look at how he's using the high ground and the low ground. Look at that. Baiting the Lings to the Marines on the low ground that they can't deal with, and then the medevacs pick them up to make sure that the Marines are immune. So this micro is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I've never seen anyone do that before. These Lings are still running rampant through the base. What can he do? He's going to land this command center, which is ballsy, but he knows the Zerg has to pull back his Lings or he can't stop this push. Is he going to go for the... What is he going to go for here? I would have thought he was going to go for the pool. These Marines are now cornered, and they need to get back into the medevacs. What is he doing? He needs to lift those off again. Ah, this is so intense there. He does get them up just as the Banelings come. He did whittle down the Ling count quite significantly, and he does need to wall off again. But is walling off worth it because he knows he's going to get Baneling bust? Making Marines and microing them with the medevacs seems to be far more effective. Now what he can start doing is lifting up Marines into the medevacs and dropping them one at a time on the Banelings. That is very cost effective. And one of the medevacs just went down to the Queen. The Queen is making this less effective than it could be. And look at this micro. It's unreal. Now he's going to drop some more Marines down here, trying to pick off that Queen. That Queen is the only thing that is stopping this play. And the Lings are trying to sit there and hold back the drop. But when they do, they're fired at from the low ground. And this is so frustrating for the Zerg player right now. It is really allowing Select to get back into this game. And this is so well played out by Select. He could have lost everything, but this is just a beautiful exploit of terrain, and this is what gives him the win-loss ratio that he maintains. He was 50 and 2 in the Grandmaster League at one point, and the Zerg player does come in and harass this a little bit, forcing Select to lift off, but his command center is not yet on fire, so it is fine. He's muling like crazy, not even building SCVs. He is producing Marines, but he's supply blocked. Can he do anything with this? The medevacs do pick up and they start to leave. And, wow, lots of Lings, tons and tons of Lings coming in for ReasoN. And he gets on the high ground, so he gets a lot of extra shots off that he normally wouldn't have. And these medevacs are going to come in, and he's just going to play the elevator game again. He will be able to lift this off and avoid. He needs to cancel those SCVs and get this. Oh, is it going to burn down? He needs to repair that somehow. Moving his barracks to block the Lings. Good timing. Oh my gosh. Good timing from Select. Denying what could have been a fatal run by and dropping his Marines with the medevacs on the far side of that wall. He needs to get this over. I think it has enough time to get behind the wall and get repaired. However, he doesn't really have any SCVs. And he's badly supply blocked. He's only at 22 supply. The Zerg is at 65 supply. And Select is just... he's hanging on. He now has a siege tank out. And that'll do a lot of damage to the Banelings, more than the Lings. The Banelings can't survive too much fire. Now the Lings can't sit what they are. There's a Banshee out for Select. I didn't even see that coming. I'm so involved with what's on screen, I did not even glance at the production tab. And going over here to see what's up, and we have a spire coming down. Where is that spire? It's so hidden that I can't. There, one of these is probably it. No, yeah, yep, spire. Okay, there it is. And I am so impressed. Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. I'm just making sure that my mic was even recording, because that would be funny if it wasn't. But it is, so we're good. Oh no, what's going on here? I can't click on the mini-map. Can't click on the mini-map. Come on. Gonna alt-tab again. Hold on. There we go. There we go. We're back. We're back. And so the Banshee's going to come in here, and it's going to take some shots at the line, but it's denied by the Queen. And right away, we're back into the action here. So quite an exciting game so far. That was a fantastic move by Select, moving those barracks up and denying that Ling run by. That saved him the game, and that's twice now that he's pulled himself out of what a normal player would just roll over and die to and just admit defeat. The GG would have been thrown down. Hell, Idro would have just rage quit twice by now, 3 times, 4 times, and then he would have stabbed a small fluffy dog because he's Ragedra. And here comes Muta, and there's a lot of Marines, and they do have stim. He's actually pushing out. What? So the Muta. I think he could have gone into the base and done some damage, but instead he's gonna come out here with the Muta. I don't know why. So he's gonna try to. I don't know if I agree with the Zerg's decision here. He's gonna push out against Select, and yeah, I think he needs to go for the base, not the army. And Select sees those Muta now. He's going to run back. He doesn't want to lose any more production. He needs it all. And this mineral line, if it goes down, he's even farther in the hole. Look at the supply difference right now, 105 to 56. These Marines are going to get here just in time. They've been stimmed twice just to get here. And that could have been bad. Now, the Muta are really harassing this wall. The Lings could get in now if they wanted to. But they are way back here. He's morphing some more Banelings. They're already done. And he's just locked into his base. And when I say he, I mean Select. And he drops. This is gonna burn down. There it goes. Oh, that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I love animation on the barracks when they crash from being lifted off. Whew. So he's gonna be spreading creep here. Well, I'm not really sure what the purpose of that is. I guess you might as well. But yeah, if you're gonna sit your overlords around the map, you might as well drop creep with them, I suppose. There's no reason not to. And so these Muta, they're starting to hit a critical mass. They do have weapons 1, and let's see what the Marines have going. They have no upgrades. They do have stim and marine shields, so a couple upgrades that make them more useful, but no weapons upgrades or armor. And they're gonna yawn. And the Muta come in here. They're gonna get his only siege tank. The siege tank goes down, and he needs that so much to defend against the Lings and Banelings. He's not quite walled off here, so the Lings could run by. They are sitting here waiting, Lings and Banelings, and the Muta are being microed heavily. Now the Lings and Banelings are moving towards the base. Well, they were. And now they're sitting still again, and these Muta can't get close to the mineral line. Select is covering the mineral line with his life. It's all he has. He's got his natural up, but his main is almost mined out. Holy crap. I'm having trouble speaking. And you guys are just gonna have to forgive me, or not. I can't be everything. Yeah, I can. I will be everything for you. No. So these Muta are coming in here, being resupplied by the hatcheries, and he's gonna lose a gas. And I don't know how important that gas is to him. Not a huge deal. I think he might have even canceled that. He's gonna rebuild it right away though, so he clearly wants that gas. He's throwing up missile turrets. The Zerg is doing a decent job of spending his money. He's got a lot of minerals in the bank. He's probably not on top of his... Oh, he left the Muta sitting still. They weren't paying attention. Oh, and here comes the Lings to engage the Marines that got a little bit greedy. And he picked them up in the medevac and safely dropped them behind the wall. So great reaction by Select. But ReasoN did lose 2 Muta there just to carelessness. He left them sitting around and the Marines pushed out. That could have been bad. Had Select not picked his units up and flown them behind the wall, these Banelings would have made short work of the Marines. Even more Muta coming in, getting weapons too for them. They will start to melt units. He'll be able to take the Marines head on eventually. Getting the tech lab on the starport, which he wasn't even using the tech lab. He's building medevacs, so it's not a huge deal. And that's really how he's planning on dealing with this. Massing Marines, getting medevacs to make sure he can heal them up after a good stim, and siege tanks to hold off the Ling Baneling. So the Ling Baneling can't even get close right now. The Muta coming back in for another swing. This is such a high pressure game. So much action. Never a chance for me to let my brain or mouth rest. And that is why I am stumbling over every word that I say. Not to mention I'm on like 2 hours of sleep, but that is alright. That is a story for another day. And a lot of Muta, man. I don't know. Once they hit critical mass, they're almost impossible to deal with without Thor. And the problem with Thor is they're so slow and clunky. You basically either have to use them as static defense or you have to commit to attack, and there's no turning around if you decide you can't make it work. So yeah, that's the big issue with Thor. And right now he's fortified this natural quite well, but the Zerg is on 4 bases. He's mined out at the main, however, and he's taking his 5th. And Select, I don't know how he can. He's gonna have to make one good death push, but there are infestors coming out for the Zerg player, and infestors straight up hard counter what Select is doing. I think Select is ready to push out now, and it's really now or never. Before Broodlords come out and before the infestor count gets too high. I mean, these infestors have enough energy for 1 fungal growth, so Select can make this work. But he's gonna take a 3rd. He's moving his wall up, so this is a huge advantage of the Terran race, is you can just move your buildings up and make a new forward wall. The Muta are going to come down here, and there's nothing here. And even if the Marines come in, this looks like too many Muta for Select to deal with, but there are a lot of Marines, and can he get some kills? The Muta are going to run, and they just melt to the stim Marines. We do have weapons and armor 1 on those Marines now, which is news to me because they did not have that earlier, and there are starting to become a lot of infestors here. A couple fungal growths will melt the Marines. And what is the decision here? He's baiting the Marines to the top. No, they're gonna get fungal growth. He gets both the infestors before they can fungal growth the Marines. So great reaction timing of Select and a little bit of miss micro from ReasoN. I think the intent was to lure the Marines to the cliff, which is a great play, but he just didn't get the fungal growth off in time because he lost high ground. He had to pull his Muta back. And just, wow. Brilliant play by Select and quick thinking, quick micro. I'm curious. I want to take a look at the APM here. And the APM for Select is averaging 234. His current 350. Like, that is ridiculous. What is he doing with those actions? He can't be using them for anything. But yeah, whatever works for him, he's playing better than I would. And I guess it goes without saying. But look at these Muta. There's just so many. There are there's what, 8 here, so 16, 32. There's a lot of fucking Muta. So wow. Select does not have the army to deal with this. The Zerg player is almost maxed, and Select is at 123, and the Zerg player will be able to resupply this army. So unless he loses it, terribly uncost effective. But now there are Broodlords here, and I don't see how Select can deal with this. They are a little close to the high ground, and if he uses his Marines right, he could pick up his Marines and put them under the Broodlords. He's attacking with the Broodlords, but not supporting with the rest of the army. Here come the Infestors. They're going to get one Viking with the fungal growth, and the Muta come in here to finish that Viking off. He cannot get close enough to the Broodlords to deal damage. He cannot deal with the Muta either because of the Broodlords. And some more Vikings come in here to do some damage to those Broodlords. And wow, siege tanks are dealing damage to his own Marines as he tries to get close because of the Broodlords on the ground. And this is not good. Siege tanks shelling his own worker line because they're shooting at the Broodlords. Look at that. He just killed his own SCV. And he can't deal with this. What is he going to do? He needs to push out. He needs to counterattack somehow, pick up with his medevacs and move. He needs to get under those Broodlords. He is slowly picking them off. So this micro is unbelievable. But the Zerg just remaxes. He's making more Broodlords. He's making more Lings. He's making more Infestors. He's getting weapons 3 for his air units. And he's got every upgrade for his Lings, and he's gonna get the last Broodlord. So somehow Select has managed to survive this, and he's working on taking his third, but he is still only on, that will only put him on 2 mining bases, and this one is almost mined out. So if he can continue to deny the Zerg player, if he can continue to make smart choices and micro cost effectively, he may be able to pull himself into a victory, but I just don't see it. But all game, Select has been surprising me, shocking me with decision making and excellent micro, and this could go either way. It really could. If Select makes one brilliant play and can manage to snipe a few of these hatcheries, I mean, the Zerg player does have a lot of bases, but he's mined out at 2 of them. This one is just now getting saturated. If he could snipe this remote base and this close proximity one, he's in great shape. But here comes a gigantic death push from the Zerg. The Zerg is maxed. There's no reason to sit around. Why is ReasoN sitting still? I have no idea. He's waiting for his Broodlords, I guess. There are so many Broodlords. 6 Broodlords. Tons of Mutas still. Lots of Lings. And so many Infestors. And they're all sitting at full energy. Those are going to be Infested Terran. Those are going to be fungal growths. Just more than what Select can deal with right now. The Vikings are going to get sniped by the Muta. The Marines coming in to deal with those Muta. All the siege tanks are going down to Broodlords. And the wall is going down to Broodlords too. Soon those Lings will run by. And the Muta, I just think, annihilated the Marines. This looks like it's GG for Select. But we'll see. We'll see. The siege tanks can't do anything about the air. They're trying to shell the Infestors. They did get a couple shots off. Pulling them back wisely, letting this base go. He's got to start mining off his third. Is he mining off his third? He is. He's going to defend that with some siege tanks so the Lings can't run by, but they are going to run by. This is a planetary fortress, so great decision by Select, but there are so many Lings. Can he keep this building up with his SCVs? I don't think so. Baneling's coming in to destroy the SCVs. And ReasoN will now effectively deny his third and select GG's. So ReasoN, the unknown underdog player in this matchup, to me anyway, maybe you guys know him, maybe I'm just stupid, but he takes a game off the North American legend Select, and I thought it was a phenomenal game. I hope you guys think so too. You guys are watching StarCraft Inc. I'm SSN Incarnate. Have yourself a good night.